Hello, I'm Jacqueline Hellyer from the LoveLife Clinic, and it's Friday, so welcome to another episode of Fly on the Wall Fridays, where I share cases with you from the clinic to inform and inspire you in your own life. And today I want to share with you the case of the couple who saw each other as lovers. It's another example of being intentional. Last week we looked at a couple who were very intentional about creating the physical and the temporal space in which they could be intimate and make love, have sex and all those good things. Today I want to talk about a different type of intentionality, and this is how you actually see your partner, how you experience your partner. So the couple who've inspired me to share this with you, let's call them Sue and Paul, been together about 15 years and a couple of kids. Things had kind of got a little bit same old. And they were housemates basically, they were co-mortgagees, co-parents, co-get the garbage out on time. It was all become very transactional, very functional. Were they friends? Well, yeah, they felt they were. Not that they actually spent much time being friendly together. They loved each other, but they weren't really feeling the in-love feeling, whatever that is. You see, the thing is that our brain, as fabulous as it is, can sometimes get in the way of how we experience the world, including our beloved. It's an amazing thing, the brain. It's so amazing that it can actually put us into automatic. Like if you're driving the car home, sometimes you get home and you're like, how did I even get here? Because your brain was in automatic. It knows the route so well, it doesn't actually have to focus on the route as you're driving home. It's in automatic. It knows it so well. And even that same car that you might be driving, you may recall that when you first got the car, you were very much like, oh my God, my car, my shiny new object. This is really amazing. I love my car. Oh my God, my beautiful car. And now it's a little bit like, oh, that old thing. So much of what we have in our life is a bit like, oh, that old thing, including our partners, our spouses. That old spouse. It doesn't matter how beautiful they are, how gorgeous, how wonderful they are. Your brain is doing a little bit of, oh, that old thing. So you're just sort of functional in life. You're passing each other by and there's sort of nothing special. It's just you. No, not very inspiring. And like so many couples, Paul and Sue were just finding that it was all a bit dull. So, I questioned them on how did they actually experience each other? What was the first thing they did in the morning when they woke up? And they're like, I don't know, just kind of get out of bed and attend to the kids and get organized. I'm like, is there any interaction between you two? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, what about when you come home in the evening? Like, what happens? And they're like, I don't know, just kind of get on with it. Like dump the bags and off you go, or get yelled at for not helping with the kids, or nothing very special. And as for last thing at night, like what do you do when you were in bed together? Well, it turned out they weren't even in bed together very often, but when they were, they tended to be on their screens, just like a couple in business class on a plane, just doing the same own thing, facing straight ahead, and like nothing happening between them here. So you can imagine what their sex life was like. Yeah. So I got them to start looking at each other differently. I got them to start looking at each other as lover. Now this requires intentionality. This requires overriding your brain's automatic tendency to just see them as just same old, and actually look at them, actually see them and feel within your own body that they are your lover. Now, I like to say that the concept of lover is not that you have sex sometimes. You can have sex with someone sometimes and it's not necessarily even all that loving. To be lover is about combining the love you have for your partner with a sexuality and energy that rises up. It's not just that horny feeling that you get sometimes. It's more like, oh. So when you see your partner, or when you touch your partner, when you engage with your partner's on your mind, you are feeling within yourself a merging of the sex and love energies within you. And you share that. And then what you're sharing is something that, yes, it's love, but love on its own can be a bit like, oh, I love you. If you bring in the sexual energy, you're bringing in a vitality. You're bringing in something that is kind of potent. It's richer than just, oh, I love you, or I disconnected, or I'm horny. It's like, oh, and that's what you share. And when a couple are sharing that throughout their life, that's when you've got that sense of, oh, it's you. And you do this in many small ways. I call these the micro connections, the micro interactions where you're sharing this energy with your partner. So after sharing that with Sue and Paul, I sent them off to start noticing how they could feel this energy in their lives and share it in their lives. So when they came back, and we had a great session this week, because they were talking about how now when they wake up in the morning, they look at each other. In fact, Sue tends to wake up before Paul, and she said she finds herself just waking up and just looking at him and going, oh. Because that feeling, that, oh, that's a lot of what we're talking about. We're not talking about hubba hubba. We're just talking about, oh, nice. Then Paul wakes up and they look at each other and it's, good morning, darling. How are you? How did you sleep? And they just take a few seconds. It's just a few seconds. And I know you're busy people, but sometimes you need to find those few seconds to have a little connection, something a bit meaningful, a little good morning, darling. So then when they get out of bed, they're just feeling connected. They're feeling a little more charged up than they might otherwise when it's just that, oh, wake up, got to get up, go and do the stuff. Yeah, they've kind of gone, oh. And then when they come home, oh, the other thing that they do is they've started being more intentional and thinking about their partner during the day. And actually sending their partner or sending the other a little message or a little something just to show that they've got them on mind. And taking that extra moment to add a little heart emoji or a kiss, right? They're sending the message for no other reason than that they're thinking of the other. And then that makes the other feel, oh, again, that oh feeling, which is what you want. Because then you get all of these feelings of, oh, building up. So that you're sort of connecting it up at a higher level. It's like, as some other clients once said to me, it was like our frequency's gone up from AM to FM. There's just this higher sense going. And, you know, Paul and Sue are feeling it too, even though they're really only just starting to do it and they're really having to pay a lot of attention. They were realizing that the coming home one was so important, and they make sure that when they greet, they take that moment to feel like, oh, home, we're back together again. And on my advice, they're doing that before they greet the kids, so that they're showing to their kids that, oh no, mum and dad are the priority and we feel good. And that makes the kids feel secure. And just that nice little, how's your day? Yeah, okay. You know, enabled them to sort of check in for a moment and get a sense of where each other was at, which then helped them get through the next few hours, which every couple with kids know is pretty intense. So that when the kids were in bed, they already had a bit of a connection going. They were sort of looking forward to having some more time together and just enjoying each other. Which meant by the time they got to bed, which tended to be a little bit earlier, they was feeling that connection and that loved uppedness, and it was like, you're my lover, so maybe we should get some loving happening. So it's in these small little things. Yes, it does take a bit of attention. You've got to be intentional about it. And then you can actually start seeing your partner as lover again. Not like in the early days when it all sort of happened because they were your shiny new object, just like your new car or the new house or the new whatever. No, that passes. Brain goes into automatic. Now it's about carrying it forward with intentionality. Seeing your partner as lover, feeling it on the inside in those little micro moments where you share that beautiful feeling with each other. So I hope this has inspired you to see your own partner as lover, just as Sue and Paul did. So go forth and be beautiful, be loving, be lovers. And I'm Jacqueline Hellyer at the LoveLife Clinic. and I'll see you next week.